Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on the 2011 Mini Cooper. That's my daughter's. Um, she used it while she's at college. She's about to drive back up there. So it's about a five and a half hour drive back to college. We'll be heading up there in 2 days. So I got a few things I want to look over on this. If you haven't seen, I've got another video talking about all the things I've done to this. Basically, I've rebuilt the engine because when we were moving from Virginia to North Carolina, we blew a head gasket. I went through the entire engine and I just went ahead and rebuilt it, except for tons of components on it that had actually melted because of overheating, and then so most of the plastic and electronic components that are attached to the engine are included in that. And the only thing I didn't do was the rear main seal and the main bearings because I didn't disconnect it from the transmission. But I replaced everything else, and aside from the valve cover gasket that I could just not get to stop leaking very slowly, so not too bad. Everything is good. They still get over 30 miles to the gallon, and it drives well, aside from a little bit of a shake sometimes in when it's in gear. But I think that's electronic related. So we have chased a few gremlins on this, and I think that's what I'm still chasing. And what I'm fixing today, and then leading on to look at those problems. So what I'm fixing today is a leak in the sunroof. So I've fixed the other side. Now the other side was really bad. So to show you just a small picture of what happened on the other side here. So basically along this footwell trim on the other side, under the carpet, we had a lot of water and in the back. And the problem are gutters that are up here along the sunroof. Now this side doesn't leak as bad. Some rains it won't leak at all, and then some rains we'll get a little bit of water here, but not the standing water on the other side. But the other side was under this carpet, literally 2 inches of water in the back all the way across. There's a big bundle of wires that run across that other side there. They were submerged in water. I've opened them up. I've looked at them. I didn't find any problems with them. There's a couple of ground points here on that side as well. I didn't find anything, but the water did come down and ruin the footwell control module. So we had to have that replaced by a company. This is the old footwell control module. And I don't know how well you can see it, but it's pretty corroded and crusty in there. And then right here, it's actually missing a pin. So that pin remained with the plug and connector in the harness when I unplugged it. I thought, so if you do have a footwell control module, it's pretty easy. It's just two 10mm bolts. Once you pop that plastic cowling off, plastic kick panel, very simple, very quick to take apart, easy. If you do have a pin that stays stuck inside of the plug, I just took a pin, I think a pick, and it pushed right through. I thought I was going to have to repin that specific terminal in the plug, but as I pushed it with a pick, it actually just came right out the backside and fell out. I did kind of go in the backside of the plug and make sure it was not expanded, so it would seat on the new footwell control module, but put the new footwell control module in, and that part of it has been fine. But it does have a lot of check engine codes, and I think before I break into the top of this and open up, peel back the top of this trim work on the roof, I'm going to scan it and we'll see what some of the codes are. This is a pretty easy fix. I fixed the other side of the sunroof leak with some zip ties. Should be able to do the same with this one, so that's quick and easy. Then we'll open up the bottom kick panel and just look around for some wiring problems, and where that water channels down and comes down the side of the pillar there, the A pillar. There could be some bad components or some corrosion that's causing these weird electrical problems. First, I'm going to light up the dash for you, and we'll see what I'm talking about with the scanner. So the first thing I'm going to do is key on engine off, and we'll see all of the lights, this Christmas tree of a dashboard. And don't mind all of the little aliens, I think, that are littering this car. Again, it's my 18-year-old daughter's. So pushing the key, and then you push the start button, and it's gonna fire up the dash. And so we get the warning light. That's the exclamation point. There's some more that pop up there. Check engine light's on over here. This brake light and the traction control light are always on. Let me go ahead and start it for you. So there's the light bulb indicator light that's always on, and then that light as well. Traction control light. You can kind of hear the rough running of the vehicle, and the check engine light as well. So I'll turn it off, and I'll keep the key on engine off. There we go. Now it's back on. Now I'll run through the scanner again, and this one has the again the C reader. This one is loaded for BMWs and Mini Coopers. So this will run a VIN scan, kind of do the diagnostics for us. I did clear these codes. Excuse me. I did clear these codes yesterday or the day before, and it was lit up like a Christmas tree. I just said that before, but it was almost every single category had a code. So I haven't driven it. I've only started a few times and backed it into the garage and pulled it forward in the driveway a couple of times. So we'll see if that has punched any more codes into the system. But I will say that a lot of the codes that it's had have been related to or have popped the CAN bus. So the CAN bus has had a lot of issues, but that's been what it's been showing. So this has a vehicle diagnostic report. So the TCM has abnormal, signal brake pressure invalid, RDC tire pressure, K-CAN. So the CAN bus line fault is a very common one. Analog brakes has 6 codes. No DSC message, DSC, all these messages. The amplifier has a CAN line fault. The SDH has a CAN line fault. Instrument cluster has a CAN line. Low line footwell module has side marker light is faulty and the K-CAN line fault. So I know the footwell module is good. We replaced that. Air conditioning has an IKA control unit fault. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all normal. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 check engine light codes. I think it had more before. Like I said, we haven't driven it. So almost every single one of these categories had a code in it when I think maybe I can't remember which one did, but only one of these categories did not have a code, but they've all had the code. So again, here we are back to just the diagnostic trouble codes. TCM, tire pressure has 1, analog brakes has what, that's say 6 for the ABS, amp, SHD, IC control, footwell control module, air conditioning, and then the car access system. ECM says it doesn't have anything. EPS, I think some of these had codes before I cleared it. I think the airbag and the supplemental restraint was the only one that did not have a problem. So, and I clear it out, and all the ABS ones come back, and I think the transmission control. So a few of these come right back. And as you can see, the K-CAN line fault is a very similar problem. So when I go into the Mini, let's see if I can pull up any of the live data, and we'll see maybe there's a 5-volt reference signal problem or something. So we'll automatically search. We'll see what it says. Maybe I have to go into the generic OBD2 function. That'll show a lot of the individual issue or individual items, or just the reading. Give us the option to read the and view the live data. So let's see. Reading vehicle data, please wait. I don't know why, I thought you already did that twice. But this isn't a bad C-Reader Elite. I bought it from launch. I bought it because of the capability to scan this BMW when I was doing so much with it, and working on the engine and going through one item at a time, trying to find out what the heck was wrong with it, as I was fixing and diagnosing the footwell control. I think the footwell control module was a big one, because I didn't know that the plug had been corroded inside and was so bad until after I was able to scan it and tell me what was going on. So the footwell control had a different thing. So let's see if we can do system selection. Let's start with chassis. We know the ABS has a data stream, raw data stream. Let's see what we have here. Not pressed. I think that's just a brake pedal. Wheel speed sensor, switch, defect indicator, DSC sensors. I think DSC sensors are ones that are giving us some of the codes. Let's see what we have. Nothing. So this data stream isn't successful. I'll play around with this if I can find anything that gives us a good data stream of some type of information, particularly something that gives us a 5-volt reference signal. So let's try this one has some bus terminal. I think this is something with the steering. 11 volts. Battery voltage is pretty consistent. I don't think I need to graph that. And then the bus signals. Let's look at that. Status, vehicle engine, steering wheel, vehicle speed, bus signals. Let's see what those say. Well, these bus signals they're not changing. So steering wheel angle, 17 degrees. Seems to have a pretty steady signal. So the data stream signal for the bus on that is okay. So yeah, I'll go for the repair I've got. Again, like I said, I just cleared these codes, and it all kind of came back with only some of the codes automatically come back as soon as you power cycle it, and then the others you've got to run the engine for. Most of that came back just like I said, pulling in and out of the driveway and moving it. So we'll take a look at the wiring here, and we'll fix the leak. Jumping into this sunroof water leak. Sunroof bezel comes off actually pretty easy. You can see the just kind of clips, sandwiches the metal frame and the headliner, but you do want to be careful a little bit because it is kind of delicate plastic, so it could probably break easier than but that pops down here, and then we just need to get up in here. So I think I'll pop a couple clips off and then get something to pop these out, and then pull a couple of these, pull the sun visor and this handle down, and see if we can't get this headliner to drop just a little bit so that we can get behind it, and I'll show you what's going on in there. Okay, so breaking this free isn't it's not too hard. There's for the sun visor, these are just a couple of two Phillips head screws here, one Phillips head screw there. The plug comes through here. It pulled right down pretty easily. The one tool that was pretty helpful for that is this flat pick to get these little plugs out of that cover the hole. Of course, these are Phillips. Then these are like, then the grab handle over here is like T15 or T20, something like that. So yeah, of course the engineers would switch from Phillips to Torx, but then it's a smaller Torx. So I was trying to get this pillar cover off, and underneath this pillar cover, there is the airbag molding actually hides a screw. So if you're pulling at that pillar cover, there is an airbag behind it. Just know that you need to pull the screw first. So once we're inside, you don't need to pull it down. As you see, you don't have to pull it down all the way. You do have to keep it held down because it wants to push itself back up. This rubber molding, I've got some of these plastic trim pieces here, tools there, so I can get this molding kind of back, so you can kind of pull it out from around the headliner and this trim. So as you can see, I just have some painter's tape there holding that up, but hopefully you can see this. Let me get the light. That's the light in there. There we go. So here's this tube. Hopefully you can see this tube well. So this tube is the gutter tube, basically. So here's gutter systems inside of the sunroof, and then they go down into this tube and down the side of the A-pillar and then out. And these tubes, as you can see, it's discolored from water. So all you need to do, and all I did on the other side, which solved the other side, which was leaking profusely, is wrap some zip ties around here, and that act as hose clamps, and you'll solve that problem. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll show you how I tighten them up finally, but it's pretty easy just to get those zip ties up there. And then once those zip ties are up there, we'll put this back together and then go searching for other problems. And hopefully you can see these zip ties are on there. Now what I like to do to tighten them down is just twist with the put my needle nose pliers on and twist. If you can see it, yeah, pulls it through a couple more clicks, and it really cinches it down. So I'll clip them off, and I'll put this back together, and we'll go on to the next step. I've pulled the kick panel off. Pretty simple. The little white retainer clips, almost every single one of them stayed in here, so I had to pull those out again using the little retainer remover tool. And then looking at this fuse block, there's only two 10mm bolts in the bottom, and then it slides out. So I don't know if you can see on camera very well, but there's some evidence of water coming down here and trickling down the side and down here. So I pulled off a couple of these plugs and inspected them. There's no corrosion so far. I'm gonna pull the rest of it off and then put this thing on the bench and see if we can't find, I think we can open up the back of it. So we'll inspect all the terminals, and it looks like there's two screws in the back here that hold it together, and we'll just inspect the whole thing for corrosion and see if anything inside of it is messed up. So it looks like I just have a few more plugs and this guy to disconnect, and then we'll get it on the bench and take a look. These all came out pretty easily, and I'm inspecting currently every terminal, and it all looks pretty clean. So on this side at least I don't see any corrosion, any major issues here. But again, might be hard to see the watermarks coming down. Maybe the back, you see kind of wetness here. Maybe it's wet here on the top. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up and see if this circuit board looks decent or not. I don't see any screws from the top, so I'm thinking there's only these screws from the back. So all right, now we get a look at this printed circuit board. I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see it pretty well, and I don't see any signs. I don't know if this is a little bit of, no, I don't think so. It all looks pretty decent. I'd like to pull the whole thing out, but it's in there pretty good. I don't know how I can. I don't know how this thing will come out. Well, I don't think I can get any deeper than this, but I don't see any problems with this back side of the circuit board. Any water damage, any bad components, anything that looks like it's burnt. So I'm gonna go with this fuse block is just fine. So put it back together, put it back in the car, and then you know, keep trying to figure out what the heck is going on with it. Everything's put back together. I'm not going to throw in the towel on this. I'll continue to check on it to look at that bus fault. You know, I expected, I didn't completely open up the wiring harness, but the entire loom of wires running from the front to the back looked really good, really clean. Everywhere it went over and was touching steel or part of the body, I pulled it back and looked, and those wires looked fine. So I think this side has a good bill of health. You know, as long as this thing's running and driving fine, I think we're just going to roll with it. But I'll keep looking at what that K-can bus fault could be, if there's another component that may be bad. Like I said, I replaced almost everything on this engine. So maybe the oil pressure sensor. I don't know if that could cause all of that to do what it's doing, but the oil pressure sensor, I think, was one thing that I didn't replace. I'll look at it in the scan tool and check a few other things before I pull this thing out of here. But that's it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Please like and subscribe as I work my way through our old crappy vehicles and keep them on the road, because without them I would have no content. So yeah, I'm gonna just do a few more things, spend 10 more minutes on this, and get it out. So thanks again, guys. See you soon. So after these checks, I scanned it one more time, and now we have 34 check engine lights, or codes. So there's 3, 4, 5, and then 6 in the ABS. That brings us to what, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 29, because there's 9 codes in the instrument cluster. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So there's 34 codes. Yeah. I don't know what to say other than, yeah, I'm going to keep checking, and hopefully eventually I'll find something, and then I can tell you what I need to fix it. Until then, we're just going to have all these codes. Maybe another one of the computers. Like I said, the footwell control module's been replaced, and it wouldn't even start. I think it wouldn't even start with that problem. So that's been fixed. So maybe the PCM or something. So keep looking, guys.